Hello there. Okay, so this is where we ended our last episode. So a pretty straightforward 4x4 beat with a kick from the 16th Punchbox plugin and the bass line consisting of two layers, main bass created with a Bitwig native polysynth device with a kick-like punchy front envelope that is modulating the pitch of the oscillators, and the sub bass created using Bitwig's native DC offset effect, where we modulate the speed of the speaker membrane with the LFO and the amplitude of the movement with the envelope, ADSR envelope. So first of all, I would like to add some more variation to the notes of the bass line. So let's create a copy of the clip and let's maybe start adding some note in a higher octave with some glide at the end. Let's maybe move this one here. Let's add one more here, D sharp, and make some glide there and there. Let's hear how this sounds like. Okay, it's fine for now. And let's make one more copy. And this time we will go to D sharp again. Let's make the note longer. Here we want something like that maybe. This may be too long. Okay, let's see how all of them work together. So let's make a little sequence. Okay, that's nice. But yeah, since we are in a clip launcher, the clips don't play in sequence. Yes, if I play this clip, it will be looping forward all the time. But Bitwig has something called next actions in the inspector. So I want this clip to play for 2 bars and then go to next clip. I want this one play once for 1 bar and go to the next clip, and this one again once and go back to the first in block. The block is a continuous group of clips. So if I had another 3 clips here, let's maybe do that. This is a separate block, so if this clip goes back to the first in block, it will go back to this one, not to go back to this one. If I chose play first, this clip after 1 bar would go to this one. So that's the difference between play first and play first in block. Okay, so let's hear our sequence. Okay, here Here's something wrong. Okay, this for some reason plays only once. We want it to play twice. Once. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I like the progression, but there's something wrong with that sound. It doesn't sound consistent. Let's look at it. First of all, I think that this clicky front is not right. Yeah, it's already more in line with the other notes. Let's make it shorter. Maybe even shorter. Okay. Without the sub bass, maybe. Much better. Now we have that sub bass, and actually the LFO that we are using to move the membrane, we can think of it as a oscillator. So the shape of the LFO is actually the shape of the oscillator as well. So we can experiment with that. We can turn it into, because currently it's a sine wave, we can turn it into a triangle. And you hear that depending on which side I'm going, it sounds completely different. Here it cancels a lot of the low end. Here it's much cleaner. Somewhere here. Okay, that's pretty fine. The kick is too loud. See on the mixer. So let's see the big mixer maybe. Yeah. Let's hide the clips here. So the kick goes to -13, bassline goes to -12. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, what we want to do now is to add even more life to the sequence. So what we are going to do is we will add a frequency splitter, multiband frequency splitter at the output of the polysynth. We will use multiband effects too, which, as the name would suggest, splits the signal into two frequency bands, so the low end and high end. On the low end we will just put tool and we will make the sound mono, so we will reduce the width of the sound to 0. So let's maybe hear it. So this is just the low end, this is just the high end. Let's make the split at 220 Hertz. So that's the high end. that's the low end. Okay, and in the high end, let's maybe add a delay, single tap delay, simple delay. And maybe before that delay we will put a ladder filter, again Bitwig's device. So what we want to do, we want to add some movement, some life on the top end of the bassline. So maybe let's try with the high pass filter, high pass 3-pole maybe. Yeah, let's play this. So currently what you are seeing, the yellow blinking lines here, lights here, it's a MIDI information. In most DAWs, the information that goes from the sequencer to the devices, the MIDI information will be cut after the first device. So the instrument will take the MIDI, will convert that into audio, and further devices in the chain will only operate on the audio signal. But in Bitwig, both types of signals are preserved. So you can see the MIDI is going through to all the devices, and this ladder filter has a envelope detector, and you can take the MIDI information from this particular chain, but you can sidechain it from whatever else. So this impacts how the filter behaves. Yes, so we would like to make some kind of movement like that, and for that let's add a modulator, maybe classic LFO this time. Let's make a slow movement, so 20 Hertz, so once every 5 seconds the sine makes a full cycle, and let's maybe connect that to here. Okay, let's hear this. But as you hear, the problem is that if the filter goes up, and this is a high pass filter, you can barely hear the top end of the bassline. So what we want to do is we will put that again into a group, and this will create a FX layer, so we can have several parallel layers of devices. So we'll add an empty chain here, and this will do nothing. This will just pass through the sound. Therefore we will call this through, and this one will be ladder plus delay. And let's hear this now. this works pretty nice. Let's maybe add something here, maybe random, random modulator. Let's make it change every 8th note. Let's make it synced with the transport, not polyphonic, and let's this is filter FM, so frequency modulation of the cutoff filter here. So maybe let's add it here as well, tiny bit. Yeah, so that's the kind of fun we can have with Bitwig modulators, that you can, very quickly attach to something and make the sound suddenly more alive, more interesting. And one great thing is that we can take that effect, that sidechain here, we can put that into the FX slot, and this whole thing, the polysynth bass, the sub, and the sidechained equalizer, this we can save as a single patch. Yes, we can add some tags to that, some name and so on, and every time I would load it from my library, I will have everything set up like this. Yes, the bass, the sub bass, and the sidechain. So this is very nice. This is very easy way to make some complex patches and then store them for later. Okay, so I guess we can wrap up this episode at this. Yeah, that works very nice.